What kills trees is a really simple and a really difficult question to answer. We know the things that do kill trees. They die because of drought, because of competition with other trees, because they get burnt in a fire, or because they're attacked by insects. What we don't know very well are the relative proportions that each of those happen and how they combine with each other. And that's the very difficult part to answer. If we go out to a single tree, our likelihood of capturing it dying is very small. So if we want to capture trees that are dying, we have to look at many, many thousands of trees at the same time. And of course, if our attention is spread over many thousands of trees, we can't look at any tree in the same detail. And by big events, I mean things like large fires, large insect outbreaks, large clear-cut harvesting events, versus these smaller, more kind of individual tree mortality events. We're really relying very much on observations of trees that have been made by literally thousands of scientists over the last several decades, where people have gone out to the forest and they've literally measured a tree, put a tape around it, observed its condition, and then they've come back several years later and done the same thing. We have increasing evidence from various studies around the world that in many forests the rates of tree mortality appear to be increasing. And in many cases, the causes of that mortality are likely to be very specific, related to that particular forest ecosystem. But if you kind of broaden it out to the larger picture, it looks like one of the major drivers behind this is climate warming. The forests globally, across the whole world, take up between 20 and 30% of all the carbon emissions that we as humans put into the atmosphere. And this is primarily because that extra carbon makes trees grow faster. But what we are increasingly seeing signs of is that tree mortality rates are starting to increase, and this is starting to balance that increased growth. Forests can be incredibly resilient, but in some cases they can also seem quite fragile, and we don't understand it well enough yet to put together a clear picture of how global forests are going to respond in terms of mortality over the coming decades. Because trees can die more quickly, but they might be replaced by other trees that actually are better adapted to that climate.